Welcome to Inside Plug, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm your host, Devon Jones. Today on our show, we have actor Reece Cameron Fielding. Reece, welcome to the show.
Having me.
Glad to have you. Reece, just like I tell all the other actors, we love actors. All right. We love hearing your stories. We love hearing when you started, and we love hearing what you have going on next. But before we jump into all of that, I have to ask a question. Reece, who or what inspired you to pursue acting?
So many people and so many things inspired me to pursue acting. But I think it was really James Dean and his performance in Rebel Without a Cause that really inspired me to want to pursue it professionally, because there's something in that performance. I don't know how to explain it other than just magic, to be honest, in his performance and his emotional range that he went through, that I thought, yeah, I want to do that. That could be pretty cool.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So now let's after the inspiration, so how did you find yourself on set with acting? Did you go to film school, or did someone find you and say, "Hey, I have a role that I think you may be interested in"?
So no, I went to drama school, but initially I started way back when I was 6, just doing local kind of theatre groups, and then when I went into school doing musicals and plays. And after school, my friend made a film for her college course, Flowers for Lily, which kind of just provided some great showreel footage, really, which then I could then use going forward. And I've kind of just, after that, went to drama school for a year, decided that it wasn't for me, signed with my agent, and started doing the work.
Awesome, awesome. Um, could you share a little bit more about the experience on working with the project Flowers for Lily?
Yeah, of course. It was a really small, fun project, just for my friend's A-level film class, and it was really nice because she'd asked me to do it personally. She wanted me to do it. She didn't want anyone else to do it, and she kind of wrote that kind of script for me, and that was nice to work on, and it was fun to play around with that character. Yeah.
Awesome. And how is that character, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, he was all right. Long in the past now. Definitely a fun way to kind of dip into the world of screen and give it a go before actually committing to it.
Awesome, awesome. All right. All right, so then now let's jump into this next project. This project is titled Myth.
Mhm.
How did you get a part of that project and how was that experience?
There was a casting call on Facebook, and I applied for it, and I'd seen some of Cute Productions, other short films, sorry. And that was that they really appealed to me, so that was something that I was really interested in doing. And I just reached out to the director, and I sent in my short reel and kind of why I wanted to do the role, and then I auditioned for it, and I booked it, and then I filmed it.
Awesome, awesome. Could you share more about how that character was different from your first character in Flowers for Lily?
It was very, very different. Flowers for Lily, was a lot shorter than Nymph, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of as much time to kind of dive into the characters in the way we did in Nymph. But a really big difference is kind of the emotional asks of the character. The character struggles with in Nymph PTSD and kind of surviving a very traumatic event of their life, and kind of what is life like after that with a dad who is there but isn't really there, as well as being haunted by a fear-inducing entity. So there was a lot going on in that film. Um, and that was a very different experience, but very fun, and one that I'm very grateful for, and also very physically demanding.
Oh wow, yeah, that sounds like a pretty deep character. So with that and like trying to compact all those emotions with that character,
Mhm.
being, at, your age, your young age, how was you able to prepare for that type of role?
I just did as much research as I possibly could. I mean, the prep is really the main bit of my work, to be honest. Researching kind of PTSD and what my character went through so I could understand kind of exactly what was going on in their mind. Because I think what you really have to do is connect with your characters, because if you can't connect with your characters, how else will your audience, you know? So
It's true. That's true. Oh, that's awesome. All right, Reese. Also, before we jump into this last project, um, where can people find, your show reels, your headshots, your actors reel if you have one?
so currently my show reel is available upon request if you just contact me or my agent. But in terms of where you can just kind of catch me doing my thing, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I'm sure the films that I've made and one that is currently in production um will be coming out soon. So yeah, definitely be able to see me then.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So here's another question. Being even though you're still early in your career, what has been some of the obstacles that you had to overcome so far?
I think the biggest obstacle is just simply being told that you can't do it. You know, there's a lot of people that are gonna try and tell you that you can't do it, and go and do something. Go and do something that actually pays the bills. I think people say things like that, and I actually did almost not do it. I actually almost went and studied classics, which could have been a huge catastrophic mistake. But since I've got no idea what's going on with classics, but um, it's that was definitely the biggest obstacle, being told I can't, but pushing through that and just going, okay, well, you told me I can't do it. Let me just prove to you that I can. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of been the biggest obstacle, but definitely a fun one that I'm still overcoming.
Awesome, awesome. No, I love that you push through, even though you see the challenge there, and you want to challenge yourself, even though other people have their opinions. You're willing to go through with the challenge. I love that. Another question I have is, has anyone, like, no, never mind, not that question. So besides acting on set and preparing for your roles, what does Reese like to do, like, in his free time?
I like to go on walks, especially with my headphones on, just kind of shut off from the world and listen to some crazy range of music, anything from kind of Amy Winehouse to Azealia Banks. So just a whole range of artists. I also like to write, especially poetry and kind of my own scripts. Um, I'm a really creative person. I like to just have so many different creative outlets.
All right, that's awesome. Well, I'd love to read some of your poetry sometime. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So now let's talk about this recent project. It's all about Sam.
Yeah.
How was the experience? Because I think that project is still in pre-production or is going into post-production
It
production.
it's in pre-production at the minute, so not film.
All right. So how was I h- let's bring this to how did you get connected with the project?
Um, well, I was just looking through kind of just casting sites, just you know, as you do, looking for jobs, and I came across this one film, and it was kind of saying, "Oh, it's the gay Romeo and Juliet," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm really interested in this. I'm going to reach out to the director." And I reached out to the director, managed to get myself an audition, and I auditioned, and then booked a role, the lead role of Sam, and yeah, it's just all been crazy since then. But definitely, I think the role I'm most excited to play.
That's awesome, and congratulations on getting a role.
And
Oh, and I do have a question. Is this your first lead role?
no, this is my second lead role. I just filmed my first one in a feature film, Friendship Day.
All right.
Uh, yeah.
Will you be able to share a bit about that project?
Yeah, Friendship Day was filmed just a few months ago, and it's about a group of teenagers who come together, reunite after a year away at university, to reflect on friendship days gone by and a really important relationship that came with those friendship days.
All right, it's nice. That's awesome. All right, Reese. So we are at that. part where I ask the guest this question. What is a book, a film, or a TV show that you recommend to an aspiring actor?
A book or a TV show that I recommend, or a
Hmm.
film.
Or film. Yep.
Um, a film that I definitely 100% recommend is Babylon. The 20, I think it's 2023. Um, the whole, it's about acting and kind of the transition from when films were silent films in Hollywood to the talkies. It's brilliantly funny, well acted, but I also think has got some really important little bits in there for people to kind of take from. And I think it's a really useful film as well as massively, massively entertaining.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Reese. So yeah, this was great, and it's all about Sam. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that when it goes into production and when it's released out in theaters or streaming networks. Really looking forward to hearing more about that project. And also, whenever you're willing to share some of that poetry, we would love to read it here. If you give us the permission to read it on set, that would be great. We share that with our listeners as well. Um, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I'll definitely share the poetry in due course, I think. Currently thinking about it.
Awesome, awesome. All right, and everyone that's listening, we're gonna have the links to the show reels and Reese's social media network so you can stay connected with them. All right, everyone, that's been our episode of Inside Plug. Remember, we're here every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube, and we do have a website that is in the works right now, so just keep an eye on that. And remember, stay inspired and keep creating. Reese, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, everyone, Inside Plug, signing out.